What's up, everybody? It's Tuesday, and that means it's time for the Quickfire Comic Talk. This is episode 6, and this guy is going to defend one of his favorite characters of all time, and that's the Predator. The Predator is a little bit underrated, in my opinion, especially in certain genres and such, and I just think he's such an awesome character, and he doesn't get enough credit for how awesome he really is. So, let me break down the Predator real quick for you. The Predator is a space-traveling hunter of sorts. He pretty much scours the universe for, the best and strongest prey to track down and kill and keep as a trophy. He likes to keep the skull or the, skeleton or some sort of momentum from the actual kill itself, which is kind of creepy, but I digress. Anyway, he's a badass, and he won't just, go ahead and hunt anybody. He'll only hunt the most elite of the species. So, he'll go to a specific planet and only fight the best of the best. Like, if the Predator was just to go ahead and walk right through here and see me sitting down here and doing this video, he's like, I'm not going to kill that chump. That chump is fat, overweight, and he's not worth killing, therefore I'm not going to mess with him. So he has a code, right? There's a warrior code of ethics that he has. And so, checking out the Predator has a bunch of gadgets and gizmos. You can kind of see, all of his little, things he has here. He, features, this crazy claw, a laser cannon. He has cloaking capabilities that will make him go invisible for a short period of time. One of his wicked things he has is this, frisbee that he can throw, and it will just straight up, dismember, decapitate its foes. So, and a giant spear, too, that just goes whip, and then it's just this giant spear of death. Anyway, he's got a lot of weapons in his arsenal. As far as how the Predator pretty much operates, he tends to only like to hunt where it's really hot. You see that in the movies, and I'll get into that in a second. So the environment has to be right, and the prey has to be right. And so in the Predator lore, all the kind of stars have to align in order for him to go out and pursue his prey and go on the hunt. Predator is probably most known from the 1987 film with Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is a great film. If for some reason you've been hiding under a rock and haven't seen that, that's one of those movies from the 80s that, in my opinion, still holds up. Sometimes you have, childhood memories of movies that were good, and then you go back and watch them, and you're like, oh shit, this was bad. How did I ever watch it? You go back and watch The Predator, I guarantee you're going to still love that movie. And if you don't, there's something wrong with your mind. However, there was also The Predator 2, featuring Danny Glover, and that wasn't that bad either. I mean, that movie did not suck. And, for what it was, I thought it was really well filmed. Obviously, Danny Glover is a great actor, him being in Lethal Weapon and everything else. And, the setting was right. And so I know what you're thinking right now. You're probably going, why is he talking about movies and this one character and showing this toy? Well, that's because I also like Predator comic books, okay? And so, as far as the comics go, Predator, usually you see Predator versus Aliens. They also made movies off of that. And between those two species, I could see why that makes sense to a lot of people, right? They're both from outer space. They both have a kind of, a good salt and pepper kind of difference, a yin and a yang, that kind of makes them go up good against each other as far as a rivalry is concerned. But there's been a whole bunch of one-offs and spin-offs and crossovers, if you will. And I recently read a book which I really liked. It was Batman vs. Predator. This is 1991, so it's a little bit old. So if I get into spoiler territory, I'm sorry, but it's 91 years old. I'm 33, and that would have made me what? If you get mad about me spoiling this, I'm sorry, but it's an old film. Or, sorry, old comic book. So, just talking about the comic book, when I kind of posted this on the group, I kind of came under fire by a little bit of resistance. We don't need to, name names or anything, but I was kind of shocked because actually, if you actually look at this book is actually really good. And it was also the winner of 1991 Eisner Award. If you're not familiar with what an Eisner Award is, they only give out Eisner Awards at San Diego Comic-Con. It's kind of a big deal. It's like the Oscars for comic books. And this got the actual Best Inking Award. And I'd have to agree with this, because just going off on the color alone, the color is like, it pops. I mean, as you can see, like, that front cover is no joke, right? You got Batman and Predator squaring off head and head, but just flipping through the pages, the color and the inking is absolutely phenomenal, so it's no surprise to me that it won that award. So as far as like the idea of Batman versus Predator, to me it makes sense, so I kind of want to sell you on that. So I've already kind of discussed the conditions of what the Predator likes to, like, how he likes to operate. So this takes place in Gotham, right? In one of the hottest summers ever in Gotham. So it's sweltering hot, perfect conditions for the Predator. And also, if you think about, like, okay, the Predator wants to go after the best of the best. If he was to land on planet Earth and, let's just say, you know, Batman was real, I really don't know who else he'd want to go after. I mean, yeah, you might, you know, go after some real-life UFC fighter, but let's just say, for instance, Batman is real, and who's to say he isn't? I think the Predator would totally go after Batman. I mean, there's no reason why he wouldn't. He is the best of the best. And also, the Predator is also really attracted to violence. I forgot to mention that. In the movies, he is very turned on to violence. So, I mean, I can't think of a more violent city in comic books, well, other than Sin City, but probably 50 other cities too in comics, but let's just roll with it, right? Gotham City is not a friendly place. There are people getting mugged, raped, killed, otherwise they wouldn't need a Batman flying around. So it's just the perfect conditions for Predator to swoop in and start going after the best of the best. Also, too, as far as how they face off, if you think about it right, so I kind of already mentioned how the Predator has all of his gadgets. Well, Batman, his utility belt is full of that stuff. I mean, like, you know, it's obviously different and it's all kind of designed to be non-lethal and everything, but still, he is the gadget man. I mean, he's got all of his vehicles, his belt's got every little bell and whistle under the tree. He's like a MacGyver. And, so the collision there made a lot of sense to me, and it's actually told in a pretty sophisticated way that is, well, I mean, obviously not, you don't want to say like believable, but the writers are really good, and the writers are actually known people. It's the Kubert guys. You have Andy Kubert and Adam Kubert, who are actually pretty well-known writers. They have done a lot of other stuff. And so the way they deliver the story is an intelligent, sophisticated kind of way, as much as you can get when you're talking about, you know, Batman fighting an alien, which isn't as far-fetched. I mean, Batman fights clowns, dudes who are obsessed with penguins, fucking poison ivy, witch ladies. I mean, you know, as far as creatures he's had to fight in his day, it's not that far-fetched, man. And so, anyway, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking that, you know, if Batman actually, you know, countered this guy, he'd probably get his ass kicked. Well, he does. And you're probably also thinking, well, how did he get away with it? So, without spoiling the ending, which, I mean, I don't know how I can spoil it, right? Batman's not gonna die, dude. He's still kicking it. This book's from 91. They're releasing Batman books on the weekly almost. So, yeah, there's that. But he gets his ass kicked by the Predator, as one would. And he barely makes it out alive. But he builds, in this book, the auxiliary suit. And there's an awesome panel here where you can kind of see the Predator and the Batman kind of like squaring off, and obviously Batman's on this side. This auxiliary suit is sweet. It's like full metal, and it's got all kinds of just like armor on it. It gives them even stronger force and fight, and you know, and in the end, Batman wins it out, baby. He just pulls through and he kills the Predator. It doesn't kill him because, you know, Batman, the whole I can't kill you thing. But, you know, the Predator loses. And because of the Predator's code of conduct, if the Predator loses, he loses. The Predator actually ends up taking his own life because he's so badly beaten, he has no other choice. And so I thought the story was really delivered well, and it was a really cool crossover from DC and Dark Horse. So actually I'd highly recommend it. Moving on to the second one. Unfortunately, this is where things kind of fall apart. So, you know, they continue the story directly after the first comic. This is literally like, you know, months later. And they try to make it as another Predator has come down to Gotham to get revenge against the Batman. And this is where I kind of was like, I don't know about this. Because, so it all kind of goes down back to that, you know, Predator code of conduct, where the Predator would not have feelings like this. They know that you know, if you're going to go and hunt things, you could possibly die. Therefore, you can't have these, like, weird jealousy things. You know, they try to play it off as this other predator was, like, you know, either the brother of the old predator or in some sort of friendship relationship of the other predator, because he comes after the Batman with that revenge, like, I want to kill you for, you know, winning against the other guy last time. So there's that whole weird revenge aspect of it, which really didn't make sense. But, like, saying that, you know, I mean, it's not that bad. And what I mean by that is, like, honestly, I'd probably honestly give it, like, a 2 out of 5, right? Like, it's not like I liked it, I didn't like it. I hate giving half stars, maybe, like, a 2.5 out of 5. But the writer here is Don Monch, Paul Galassi is the penciler, and Terry Austin is the inker. And also, the reason why I wasn't into this book as much, and I'm not trying to, you know, cap on the artist or anything, but, like, my gosh, like, there's all kinds of unproportions here. Like, if you look at, like, Batman's face here, like, look at his face. Like, you know that's Batman because it has the Batman symbol, but, I mean, like, everything is out of proportion here. Like, all the art is just really kind of, like, throws me for a loop. And I think last week on the Weekly Comic Talk, I was talking to Mark, and he had brought up a good point. When an artist can be consistent and make everybody kind of, like, look the same, like same arm length and same facial features and such, it really goes a long way. And so with this one, they kind of go, okay, well, last time we only had one predator. So this time, they hold multiple predators. So how it works is there's this predator who's coming in for the revenge on Batman, but there's other predators who are mad at the predator for going against Batman because the predator code says you're not supposed to do that. So there's, like, good predators and bad predators. Plus, they also add in another twist of, you know how there's always organized crime stories in Batman, right? Oh, Gotham's full of organized crime. They end up, like, throwing that whole thing in there, too, with the Terreno family, I think it is. It's a Colombian drug lord who's also pissed at Batman, so Batman's got the Predator after him. He's also got, you know, these mobsters, these hitmen after him. The one cool part I thought was awesome is they add the Huntress in there, and you can kind of see her a little bit right there. And she's kind of a cool character, right? You know, she's got her little crossbow, she's running around, she's very, really well-versed in melee combat and stuff. So I thought that was kind of neat how they added her in there. So in overall the series, it kind of fell apart in the end, but I liked the idea of it. And so that was pretty much what I read over the weekend and the start of last week. And it was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. I think overall, if I was going to, like, rate both these books as a whole, I'd give them a 3. I liked it. I didn't hate it. I didn't really like it. But, you know, if you're just in the mood for something silly, which sometimes we are, right? We can't always, like, watch a blockbuster movie, right? You can't always be watching, like, Gladiator, or you can't always be watching Braveheart, Forrest Gump, or, like, this, like, masterpiece of a film. You know, sometimes you just need a really just nasty, cheesy B movie to get you through the day. And that's what this was. I have no issues with it whatsoever. But I can kind of see why some people would. It's kind of silly. But I like silly shit. I mean, look at me. I'm a silly motherfucker. Anyway, that was Quickfire Comic Talk, Episode 6, Batman vs. Predator. If you can get them for $1 a piece like I did, I would highly recommend it. If not, you can go ahead and give it a pass. It was Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be back to you guys as soon as I can. You're awesome. Peace.